I would like to say that I'm pretty thankful to be on this podcast. I'm more thankful that my little channel has attracted a great audience. I didn't really plan to that my channel to attract so many subscribers and also, pretty intelligent people that are leaving comments on my videos. I started this channel as an anti-Jake Mace channel, making videos about Jake Mace. I started out by downloading Windows Movie Maker 2017 edition. It was for free, and that's all I had. Basically, Windows Movie Maker and Microsoft Paint just to do the thumbnails and such.
Well, you did it with Microsoft Paint. Damn.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know. It's like I want to do Photoshop, but at the same time, I didn't want to learn almost all the nooks and crannies that's involved with it.
Well, you did pretty well with the limitations you had in hand. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Next on my list is martial arts tutor.
Oh,
Taylor
wow.
Kelley.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's gonna be gone for good. I think eventually he'll come back. They all do.
Oh my god, man. That guy, one of the biggest red flags with him, man, it's like, when I first seen his channel, he was talking, so some of his first videos were cool, but then he started talking a lot of shit about different martial arts, and then once he finally revealed himself, of his experience, it's like, he claims to teach so many styles of martial arts, and, he's in his early 20s. That raises red flags right there. He says he's trying to invent his own style of Taekwondo, and man, there were some demos of him.
Every single thing the guy said and did was proof in itself that the guy was a complete idiot.
Yeah, he was, and
give him a second chance. He just went back to what he was always doing, just pissing everyone off.
Yeah, yours truly, yeah. Included, I gave him a chance back then. I did an apology video, then he just went crazy with the karate culture fan base. He tried to start a flame war with him.
Yeah, and that's fucking ridiculous. Those karate culture guys, they're really cool. Like, they're very nice guys, apparently, and they know their stuff, Like, why would you want to mess with those guys or, like, the people who follow them? Stupid.
Yeah, and also he went back to bashing styles again. He called Hapkido to be WWE in a gi.
Yeah, I remember that, and that pissed me off because I know a lot of Hapkidoin who are pretty tough guys, and there's hundreds of styles of Hapkido. You cannot just put it all in one bag.
Yeah, no, it's like, wow.
Yeah, but it was like this. The first time I ever saw a video of Taylor, it was just him with his microphone just talking shit. I don't remember what it was, but just watching 2 minutes of that, I immediately shit, this guy's a dumbass. And then, like,
he doesn't look like a fighter at all.
Yeah, he doesn't look, because he's not. And then he's like, then I saw these videos with him and his other friend were challenging. They were saying that any Taekwondo guy in the world, that they could kick their ass easily, and like,
that money. Sounds familiar. Just like Freddie Lee, he used to post challenges, and at the end they all duck.
Yeah, obviously Taylor never accepted the challenge.
Never.
It was fucking ridiculous.
It was better for him, he would have gotten his ass kicked, real fast.
Yeah. Of course, he realized he was going to get his ass pummeled. That's why he decided it was a better idea to just remove that and pretend it never happened. But people knew that he knew about it, so that's going to happen.
If I remember right, at first he challenged every WTF and ITF Taekwondoan to fight him and his friend Matt Lawson.
Yeah.
But then he tried to change the rules, and he says only pure Taekwondoan, basically guys who only practice Taekwondo, no other martial arts.
Yeah. But even if just a pure guy went, they would kick his ass because he was not a real black belt. He has no idea what a real martial, like a real Taekwondo guy can do.
From what I learned about him is that he's only second degree black belt in the kids.
In the kids category, yeah. He's not a real adult black belt.
Yeah, he went to a really shady school.
Yeah.
And one of the things is...
But according to him, he said he was a 5th degree, right? And that 4th or 5th degree, that's what he claimed at first.
He claimed he was a 4th degree black belt. Yeah, I remember that.
And he believed in his head that he had enough knowledge and experience to create his own style and talk shit about every other style. Absolute
yeah.
ridiculousness.
Speaking of head, he made a video of saying that he was afraid of getting brain damage from light contact kickboxing sparring because he got punched so many times in the head.
I don't even know what to say about that. Like I get punched and kicked in the face every day, and like it still functions properly in my brain.
When he said that, I was thinking to myself, what a wiener.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
all right if just like any average person says they're afraid of head trauma and like they rather avoid it and blah blah blah, but a guy who claims to create his own fighting style and who claims to know what fighting is, what works in fighting, what doesn't, that's just a lame ass excuse. Like,
and another thing about him is that when I seen his some of his demos and sparring, one of the things that's very noticeable is his kicking ability. He doesn't kick fast. He doesn't do any of the combos that's taught to him.
He's not good in any sense. Right?
No, not at all. He was not a 4th degree black belt at all. Like, even if he was trained in the Olympic style, they're known for their fast kicks.
Yeah.
But this guy, it looks like he's not comfortable with them.
Yeah. Something that really pissed me off about him was initially he used to say that every Taekwondoin in the world was a pussy and he could kick their ass. Like he said any Taekwondoin. And then one day I see him like leaving comments on Quan Kicker's channel saying, wow, you're the best. You've always been an inspiration, blah, blah, blah. And like this, like fucking hypocrite, man. You said you used to say all Taekwondoin are pussies and you could beat the shit out of anyone. And now you're just brown-nosing because Mike is a big YouTuber and he thought it was going to like help promote his channel or something. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that is. And also, Quan Kicker doesn't know really much about him, man.
Yeah, he gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Oh man, let's see. Martial arts tutor in sparring, man, looks like he's afraid of making contact.
Yeah, definitely. And he fights with his hands below his waist, and then he uses the explanation that that's just his style of fighting, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That is pure BS, man. It's like all the styles that he claimed he learned at different MMA schools, it's apparent that he didn't learn that much or he's not used to.
He was claiming to be out of nowhere from one day to the next. He just got out of bed and suddenly he was a boxing teacher, a kickboxing teacher, an MMA teacher, and I don't know, Muay Thai. I don't know what else he claimed to be an expert of. Yet he fought with his hands below his waist. No boxer in the whole planet is going to fight with their hands below their waist. Or kickboxer. No,
not at all, man. No, not at all. That takes a lot of discipline to keep your hands up, at all times to protect yourself. And this Joker claims to be a boxing instructor, man. Get real, man.
Yeah, like he was. I think, any normal person realizes because he acknowledges that he went to a McDojo. He acknowledges it. But any intelligent person would say, okay, I went to a McDojo, but I want to be a good martial artist. Okay, I'll just put some time and effort into a real school and like learn properly. Not him. He just decided, okay, I'm not going to learn anything. I'm just going to start my own system out of nowhere. Like, okay, I watch Power Rangers. I can create my martial art now.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, wow. This guy has no shame.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. I think, the two most common factors why frauds create a martial art or something, or a style or whatever, is the same thing as with when you create a religion. Either money or ego, or the combination of both of those. So it's a good business. Also, like he can proclaim himself as the president, grand master of his style, right? So he doesn't have to answer to anyone. And it's like he can run it like a cult if he wants to. So it's the same. They always do that shit.
Yeah, that is corruption right there, man. It's like, nah, man. But this guy's a new breed.
Yeah.
He's like instead of being this traditional fraud, he's this MMA fraud now. Like he claims that Taekwondo is good for MMA.
But that's one of the things that was pissing everyone off. That he wanted to portray himself as an MMA badass who knows what works in martial arts and what doesn't. when he's never fought in MMA, he's never fought full contact in kickboxing or anything. In fact, I think it was you who told me that he's only competed in Taekwondo once, and it wasn't even sparring. It was like just forms or something. He has absolutely no clue what fighting is about, yet he wants to teach people and criticize martial arts and combat sports. It's ridiculous. It's like a guy who watched one season of Grey's Anatomy, and then he opens a doctor's office and wants to operate on people. It's just mind-blowingly retarded. It just makes no sense.
Dude, when he opened up his new school, over at Texas, he said he won all these trophies, and there was only one trophy in the school, like in the beginning. And I went to his Instagram, and there was an article of him, winning this Taekwondo tournament when he was a little kid. That was it.
Man,
if he was a guy who was like a consistent winner of Taekwondo tournaments and decided that he wants to make a new style and move on to other martial arts, yeah, good for you. But this guy, he claims to know so many styles of martial arts, and he wants to prepare people to go to MMA competition and kickboxing competition, all hard contact sports, really hard contact fighting. You're putting those people in danger.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and he's also charging them hard-earned money to teach them bullshit that he's not qualified to teach them. It's just he's scamming them.
And his belt system is pretty corrupted too. It'll take you 7 to 8 years to get a black belt under him. It takes a year to go from one belt level to another. But in all reality, he's just giving himself time, to learn more stuff at different MMA schools.
Yeah.
To pass on to his BS school.
Yeah.
And so far, most of his student body is little kids, and he posted up in his Instagram, he posted up in his Instagram of his kids students, winning at this point karate tournament. Mm-hmm. And a long time ago, if I remember, this guy used to say that point karate and point taekwondo is all BS and it's useless and all that.
Definitely. More hypocrisy being exposed there. Pure hypocrisy.
Yeah. More hypocrisy right there.
In the end, all he cares about is getting money and also the bonus of feeling acknowledged as some kind of master or something. Totally undeserved.
Yeah, it's all about the money, man. I theorize that the reason he started his own style is because, he's only, second degree in the kids category in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
So he couldn't really open up his own school until, he has to pay, a lot of fees, to get a proper black belt, in the adult category.
Yeah, not only that, but you have to answer to someone above you when you're in a real martial arts organization. So you probably thought, all right, I'll just this is what they all do, actually, all these frauds. I'll just create my own style and I have to answer to no one and I get all the revenue and do whatever the hell I want.
Nah, man. It's you're only going to end up hurting people that are trying to learn under you.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And I've never never seen, and we will never see him in a real sparring session. Not the videos that he uploaded, but a real sparring.
Speaking of which, do you know his friend Matt Lawson, the guy with the long hair and glasses?
Yeah.
Well, I remember Martial Arts Studio posted up a video, his first kickboxing competition. Mm-hmm. He was fighting against this much shorter guy, and he was having a hard time against him. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really doing good, and his kicks,
From what I've seen, he was not any good at all. So, but they all went to the same school to learn the same.
Went to the same school, yeah. If he claims to be a 4th degree black belt, also, martial arts. I mean, Taylor's friend, but his kicking abilities, doesn't show it.
Yeah, it's like Stevie Wonder claiming to be a professional photographer.
No, man.
It's bullshit,
Yeah, it's all bullshit. Well, all right, next on my list, man, it's going to upset you, man. Well,
yeah, but wait, before we go to this one, I'm glad that Taylor is not on YouTube anymore.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
At least for now. I think he was getting really butthurt that everyone with functioning brain was criticizing him because he's a fraud.
the funny thing is, when I did the sparring compilation video about him,
Mm-hmm.
the next few days, he did that video that he quits YouTube and everything. And he probably watched the whole video.
Yeah.
And he probably seen himself, not being so great, the way he claimed.
Yeah.
And he just ran away from YouTube.
Yeah. Him and his followers really hated my guts too, and I was surprised because I've only left a couple of comments, but then never paid attention to him anymore. But still, they kept talking shit about me all the time. It was really weird. I'm not a big channel, right?
Yeah, you'll definitely kick his ass.
Deep down, anyone can kick his ass. But deep down, he was. At some point, something I said must have really offended him because he just kept mentioning me often. So.
No, man, it's the guy's crazy.
Yeah, and anyone really, honestly, any mid-tier martial artist would kick his ass of any style. The guy is useless. There's nothing of value there.
No, he's just a beginner in reality.
Yeah, exactly. He's a wannabe. Anyway, proceed to the next one.
Okay, next one is Russ Quatro.
Oh yeah, you're right. This one does upset me. For me, in my point of view, this is the world champion of frauds. He's Frank Dukes level. This is Ashida Kim level.
Dude, man, ever since you first introduced me to his videos, I started researching about this guy, and I started commenting on his channel, asking questions, and this guy claimed to have black belt knowledge in 14 different martial arts.
Well, at some point he even declared that by proxy, because of his ghost style Krapura, by proxy he is actually the equivalent black belt of every style on the planet, because everything comes from Krapura. So he's actually claimed.
Yeah, his so-called Kipura, he claims to be the original capoeira, and all capoeira in Brazil is fake, created by the government. Yeah. And his family, who has no lineage to Brazil, South America, or Africa, know this style of Kipura. It's all ridiculous, and he claims that Kipura almost has everything: punching, kicking, grappling, gun defenses, dodging bullets, all this.
Telepathic powers, everything.
Good God, man.
I mean, it's I don't know if we have to talk about this guy, where to start, because it's pathological liar, or all the shit he makes up is just absolutely insane.
Dude, man, when I first watched this video of him teaching how to dodge bullets, man, this guy, man, I knew right away this guy's not mentally right.
Yeah, you can tell this guy is completely crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. I've seen some of his...
He claims, oh God, I'm sorry, but this whole, this, what was it called when you're I forgot the term, he thinks everything, Afrocentrist, yeah. He claimed that judo comes from Africa, that tango, I'm Argentinian. He says tango comes from Africa, that sushi comes from Africa, everything comes from Africa, that all the other cultures on the planet stole it from Africans.
Dude, that guy is an
hardcore racist,
man. Let me tell you a little bit about Afrocentrists. There's also people other than Afrocentrists, there's Eurocentrists, and then there's also the Korean version of Afrocentrists, where the Koreans claim that they created everything. Well, all these people, they're a bunch of basement-dwelling losers,
Yeah. They're actually, what happens is they try to validate themselves they try to find something to make themselves feel validated, and this is a very low resource. It's just go to the race card. And the thing about this guys like Ras, he's he pretends to be some kind of African. He's tied to Africa, and he comes from Africa, and blah blah blah. He's never been to Africa. He's nobody in his family is from Africa. Is nothing. There's no relation, anything. He's just a black chump from the U.S. He's just a suburban chump, living a safe life in the suburbs. He's never been to Africa, and he has nothing to do with Africa. It's complete bullshit, Yeah,
it's all bullshit. Remember, this guy claimed that he had a gun pointed on his head 19 times in 1 year, and he survived it.
It was the Nintendo, the laser gun from the Nintendo. It just pointed to his own head.
Oh man, man. Everything that involves with firearms and martial arts, man, it's like a very controversial subject. But you have this guy who, without shame and with great delusion, says that he could dodge bullets, or he could escape, a position where he has a gun pointed in the back of his head 19 times. Man, this guy is not mentally right, and he's full of shit.
The one where he explains how to survive a car shooting, a guy with a drive-by shooting. That's hilarious. It's because he's doing it for real. Like, he's serious about it. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. He just ducks under the window or something. It's absolutely insane.
Man, like, there's videos out there, people getting shot in drive-bys, man. You're gonna get shot without warning, or
unless
it happens so fast.
If you know Krapura, you will survive.
Oh man, Krapura, man, it's gonna get you killed. And another thing that pisses me about this guy is that he bashes capoeira, and so much, man. It's like, why is he doing this? It's like, he's basically shitting on a martial art created by former slaves in Brazil. Yeah. Out of their martial arts experience at their homelands, and this guy is basically just shitting on them.
Yeah.
And yet
he pretends to be pro African, blah blah blah, but he's actually insulting the legacy of the African Brazilians who created the martial art. Yeah.
And it's pretty shameful. I highly doubt this guy knows everything. This guy doesn't know anything at all. And when I contacted his capoeira school, which is body sport, the wife of the teacher that was running it, she informed me that Russ Fletcher does not know how to jinga, and jinga is like the most basic, of the footwork techniques in capoeira, and this guy can't do it.
Yeah, just watching his videos, you can see he can't do it.
He can't do it, and also he refused to take off his socks, in a Rota session.
Mm-hmm. Maybe because he didn't want people to see the fungus. Something?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the guys here's a common thread. Guys what do you call it? Taylor Kelley or Russ. Taylor Kelley bashes Taekwondo because he sucks at it. So instead of acknowledging that he sucks at it, he just says Taekwondo is shit. Yeah. But he keeps doing it anyway. Now Russ, he sucks at capoeira, so he just says capoeira is shit, and he creates his own delusional shit version of it and says that's the real one. And this is very common with all these frauds. A lot of them do this kind of shit.
And don't forget, Freddie Lee also talk a lot of shit about Wing Chun also. He claims to teach Wing Chun at his fraudulent school, but he has never learned it. Yeah. I think he tried to copy it, by watching videos. He's a Bruce Lee wannabe, but let's get back to Ross.
Yeah. But I just wanted to mention this, that it's a common thread where they just talk shit about something because they suck at it. So that's how they excuse themselves. They just say, oh no, that's shit. It's like assholes who tell me that spin kicks don't work. Yeah, they don't work for them because they suck. I mean, if you're good at something, you're going to make it work.
I don't know, it's like, this Ross Fletcher, I don't know, it's like, it's a very, very crazy character, and it's funny how he makes these essay-like comments, he leaves when somebody asks a question on his channel.
Everything about this guy is fucking crazy. It's like straight out of some comedy movie or something.
It is, man. And a lot of people say that he sounds like Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Or what's the guy from Rush Hour? I forgot his name now. Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yeah. He sounds like any of those guys, with that very thick. But Chris Rock and Kevin Hart are funny, this he's unintentionally funny.
Yeah, and also, if you look at Ross's sparring or fighting videos, man, the guy is a beginner.
Yeah, he doesn't have any fucking idea what he's doing. It's really embarrassing.
It really is.
I remember, I've only seen one video of him actually doing some actual sparring, and I told you about this. He had a person. He has 25 channels, but he had one channel which was.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, he has 25 channels, and in each channel he names it after a martial art which he claims to be an expert. judo, and like another channel is hapkido, another channel is taekwondo, another channel is shaolin kung fu, and so on and so on. And if you go check one video of like some movements in one channel, let's say hapkido, and then you go to another channel which is taekwondo or kickboxing, it's the exact same video just with a different title. The guy's a complete fraudster.
The cringiest one is his Muay Thai.
Yeah, there's no Muay Thai there. It's complete horseshit. It's really bullshit. But the people who follow his channel or believe him, they're obviously they have mental problems.
They all do, yes.
But I think. But before I forget, I was going to say this. He had, I don't know if it's still up, but he had a personal channel of his where he just uploads videos of his. And there I found one video of him doing sparring in a ring with some other guy. And it was worse than Taylor Kelley. It was among the worst things I've ever seen. It was extremely embarrassing. And before you got to see it, I never thought at that time I should have downloaded it just to keep it. But I just saw it and I shaked my head and I thought this is absolutely ridiculous. But he removed it after that. I think he realized, because we were criticizing him so much, he realized he should remove that because people would see it.
Hey, I thought he was a black belt in 14 different martial arts, and him and his family are the only sole inheritors of capoeira.
Yeah.
Oh well.
The only thing his family knows is supposedly it's Kempo, American Kempo, but
American Kempo.
It's their own family line of Kempo, so it's even more
ridiculous,
dubious. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching some videos of American Kempo.
Wait. Sorry, by the way, another one of his many claims is that he speaks 4 languages, African, Portuguese, Spanish. I speak Portuguese and Spanish fluently. My first language is Spanish, and I also speak Portuguese. He doesn't speak either of them. Neither him nor his brother, who claims to.
It's obvious his accent is really thick. His American accent is really thick when he tries to speak a foreign language, and also he pronounces his own art Kipura in so many different ways.
Yeah, he just pulls words out of his ass. Really, he's just his Spanish and Portuguese sound worse. It really, I don't know how to explain this. He's just making shit up. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I have no idea what he's trying to say when he pretends to speak Portuguese or Spanish. But both him and his brother claim that they're fluent in both languages. Anyway, sorry that we were digressing. It's just that there's so many lies when it comes to this guy that I don't even know.
He's a total complete liar.
Yeah.
Total liar right there.
And you can see his website is some guy with severe mental deficiencies created it. Actually, make a better website than that. It's gigantic red letters with the worst design I've ever seen. It's just shit tons of text plastered on top of photographs. You can't tell what you're reading, and it's all bullshit.
Oh my god, man! And also, he used to have videos of him. He tried to translate between English and Portuguese, and the Portuguese section. Well, I don't really know much about Portuguese, but I think somebody commented, I think it was Angela, that his Portuguese looked like he just copy-pasted from Google Translate.
Yeah. It sounded like if I spoke in English like this: beer, elephant today, drinking, table, good. Something like that, complete insanity.
Oh my god, man. It's oh man. Yeah, that's a whole level of crazy right there.
Oh yeah, by the way, Angela's husband is Brazilian, so
yeah,
they would know. It's not just me saying that it's bullshit. They would know also.
Well, I never heard Ross speaking Spanish. I know Spanish myself. I want to hear him, try to speak Spanish. Out of curiosity.
Him, I don't remember where I saw it, but him and his brother both claim to be fluent in Spanish and Portuguese. It's not only Ras. I think it's a family problem because his brother supports everything he says. He claims also that the Carapura story is real. And at first, I remember me having a conversation with you where you thought that his brother was more level-headed, but no, they're both the same. They're just crazy.
Wow. And what was I about to say? Yeah, it's like, he claims that his family teaches this style of kipura, but it's just him and himself, doing demos.
Yeah.
And some of the people he does demos with, that looks like it's just some of his friends or random people he grabs from the park, and they all have this look that, oh man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, it's honestly the movements he does. The only thing he knows is like this weird Kempo thing from his family. So he takes some crap from there and he's just repeating that. But he had some like little flips and fake Jenga. Like it's like a child who just watched a Ninja Turtles movie and he goes out to the park and throws kicks around in the air. That's what he looks like.
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah. Also, the guy doesn't seem to have his own school or his own students. He's trying to promote himself so much. Where the hell is his school and his students? Like
the thing, that, like it's the things that bother me about this guy are on so many levels, because it's not just like the fraudulent martial arts and all of his lies. Also, the fact that he promotes ignorance and racism through his channel. And saying, where have I ever said anything racist, blah, 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 by claiming that every culture on the planet stole from Africa and that everyone who is not black is like a liar and a thief. That's where you're being racist.
And if you try to contradict him, you're going to be labeled racist by that guy.
He writes like you said, you ask him, hey, would you like coffee or tea? And he writes you a 500-page essay on just to answer an A or B question. Where did you learn this Kripura thing? He writes like pages and pages long of bullshit that if you go through the trouble, if you're crazy enough to go through the trouble of reading it, you just end up crazy because it makes absolutely no sense. It's like reading the ramblings of a madman. It's just words, but there's no meaning behind them.
Oh, yeah, man. No.
He went to some of your videos and left comments, but I don't think anyone actually read them. I only read the first 2 lines, and then I just like answer with laughing at it or something.
Well, he just left a very long comment on the video I did of Charles Wofford. Well, I'm going to mention him next, and he said he basically claimed me being a fraud and all this stuff, that I'm racist because he's so butthurt that I exposed him.
Yeah.
Really, I did those videos about him. I exposed him, and the guy's a complete imbecile, and he shouldn't be teaching anybody at all.
Yeah, I think he shouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if he lives on some kind of welfare from the government for mental disabilities, because I'm convinced he has mental problems. I'm convinced.
Another thing I know about him is that he majored in African studies. That's like one of the most useless college degrees ever, so I won't be surprised about that.
Yeah. Okay, maybe he's trying to make his... he majored in African studies, but everything he claims, whenever he talks about African history, everything he's saying is just made up shit and lies. Yeah. Either he went to a really terrible college or he just never studied that. He's just making it up.
I wouldn't... Yeah.
It's like you go to a heart surgeon, and when he explains to you how he's going to bypass, like give you a bypass or something on your heart. He says, okay, I get the knife and I will cut that thing in your chest. We call it the blood pump muscle. You mean the heart? No, the blood pump muscle. And the blood cables we cut and I glue with another thing. And it sounds like that. He has no fucking idea what he's talking about. He's just making shit up.
God help us all, if this guy decides to write a novel.
Yeah.
Or a book or anything, man.
He does like to write, but it would make absolutely no sense. It would probably drive you crazy. It would be like one of those, like, books in horror movies that you summon demons, or if you read it, you just go insane. That's what it would be like.
Oh, my God, man. Yeah.
It would short-circuit any rational person's brain to read a book written by that guy.
All right, let's see who's next on the list. Okay. Well, here's another guy that probably might upset you. Isaiah Pablo.
Oh, yeah. Well, he doesn't upset me anymore. He used to really grind my gears because of all the crap he talked about. But I realized he's just a poor guy who's not well in the head. And I honestly just I pity him. I feel bad for him. But he's kind of harmless, actually. Russ is more dangerous.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's like... he claims that all martial arts styles is useless in self-defense, and only his self-defense system is anything worth learning.
Yeah, that's how everyone finds his channel, because he spends a shit ton of time on Quora and answers. There's 2 categories that he answers about. Well, actually, there's 3 categories where he answers all the time. The first one is martial arts. That's how I found him. Like everyone finds him, where his answer to absolutely everything is exactly the same. If you ask, how do you throw a jab? He says, jabs don't work because boxing doesn't work, because martial arts don't work, and combat sports don't work. Only my system, proven by testing, blah, 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 is what works. Go to my Fiverr gig and buy my lessons, blah, blah, blah. Or if you ask, how do I train my abs? Training your abs doesn't work because martial arts don't work, and so on. He answers everything with the same bullshit. That's category number 1. Category number 2 that he likes to answer is like relationships and how to seduce women. You can see some messed up psychological shit there, where whenever he answers those things, he has a big problem when it comes to women. And the third category, he does, man. Racism. He's really racist, really bad.
Yeah. I know. It's like he's very hostile against white people.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't know. This guy could be. He could be a member of Antifa for all I care, man. He seems to fit the bill.
Yeah, he's insane. But it's hilarious how he really, really hates it when an Asian girl dates a white guy. But he's obsessed with Asian girls.
Oh, my God.
He's absolutely obsessed with Asian women.
Why embarrass yourself on the internet, man? That's
It's crazy. It's like, dude, I remember I had a job once where I was living in Central America, and I was much younger. I worked in this internet company where we sold shit on the internet. So I would just take phone calls and whatever. And the manager there, he was a recovering drug addict. He was addicted to cocaine or something, right? But he was recovering. And whenever the guy came to the office and someone was slacking off, he would be really angry and started accusing those guys of being drug addicts, because he was reflecting himself on those guys. It's that's what this asshole is doing. He reflects his own obsessions on others. He's obsessed with Asian women, so whenever he sees a white guy with an Asian girl, he goes fucking crazy because he wishes he had an Asian girl.
Maybe probably any girl for that matter. Obviously, the guy never had a girlfriend or was in a relationship, and he is mentally ill.
Yeah, but in all his Quora answers, and even I've seen his Facebook a few times, he leaves all these comments where he was dating a hot older woman or dating this girl and that girl and blah blah blah. It's he's completely crazy, and you can see it's all nonsense. Or he claims to have had a bunch of Filipino girlfriends. It's just girls he talked to on the internet. That's it. But according to him, those were his girlfriends.
That's little kid stuff right there, man.
Yeah.
Little kid stuff.
That's why I tell you, I just feel sorry for the guy. He's not well in the head. And I used to get really pissed off at him because he was really hostile and rude to everyone. Even to the girls that are on the community, like Angela and whatnot. He was really rude and aggressive, and that really pissed me off. But actually, I realized the guy's he's not well in the head.
No. And, when I first did videos about him, he got so pissed to the point he tried to track my IP address and try to look where I'm located at. And he says I'm either in California or in Georgia. He couldn't come up with the location. And he also posted up an email that I had in the comment section of one of my videos for somebody, to communicate with me.
Mm-hmm.
He took that email address and he was putting it up in different forums, to hunt this troll, Herman Branche.
Yeah. I remember he was trying to get other people to fight you because in his place, he didn't want to ever meet you. He wanted to get others to fight you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Or he tried to make Angela go to some dark corner in some ghetto in the night where he would shoot her or something.
I don't know. It's Probably with the Nerf gun, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like.
But yeah, he's like, if I think he's gonna end up being in one of those Danknet documentaries because he's a. I don't know. I don't want to be mean to the guy. Like I said, I feel sorry for him, but he's like a real freak.
He is a real freak.
So weird, man.
Well, speaking of freaks, the next one in the list is our.
Oh yeah, wait. By the way, but we haven't put. I just like every guy we talk. I just wanna, like, I wanna mention their current status.
Okay.
Like Russ.
Well, yeah.
Going back to Russ, what is his current status?
Russ, well, he's still putting up videos, but he doesn't put them up as often anymore.
Yeah, and he did went to your channel to like shit talk a little bit, but then when he realized that no one was paying attention to him, he gave up.
I guess so. You know, the guy's a coward. You know, every time I cuss him back, you know, through the comment section, you know, he'll stay quiet.
What I'm surprised is that he never made some kind of reply video or anything because he's so crazy and obsessive. I thought he was going to do something, but he didn't. I think maybe he's just afraid people would go to your channel if he did that.
I don't think he likes confrontation.
Yeah, probably. I think he would like cower into a ball in a corner if anyone faced him in person, even if it's just for sparring. I think he would just like poop his pants or something.
Yeah, that's anyway, pretty much it.
Yeah, so he uploads every now and then with racist bullshit, but he's like not as active as before. He's not doing that. I realize he gave up on, because before he used to have all those channels where he uploaded the same video on channels of 100 different styles, just claiming that was that, like, he would do a weird Kempo combination and call that Taekwondo in one channel, in another channel Muay Thai, in another channel Capoeira. He's not doing that anymore, apparently.
No, he's just doing, you know,
the Krapura thing. Yeah.
The Krapura thing, you know, overcomplicated techniques that are not going to work in real life.
Yeah. So, okay, that was him. That's where his current status is at. After that, who they would mention? Pablo. Pablo had disappeared for a few months. I thought maybe he killed himself or something, which would have made me feel sad for him. But like I said, I feel sorry for the guy. But he's not. He's back.
I thought he might, you know, just lay low. You know, probably had enough with the internet and just, you know, gave up.
I think.
Well, you know.
Yeah. I thought he was going to give up on the martial arts stuff, but I think he hasn't. Wait, he had a book. We didn't mention this, but he had a PDF. He was selling a book, quote unquote, on Amazon, which was about Jeet Kune Do. But what was this book about? Tell me.
It was actually the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, but you know, it's just a plagiarized version of it. You know, he just copy pasted it and just added his notes on it, and that's it.
Yeah, so what happened is that Amazon actually took it down.
Took it down because copyright infringement.
Yeah, plagiarism. Even the cover, he was using Bruce Lee's image, and you cannot do that because it's copyrighted.
There we go.
Yeah, it's absolute ridiculousness. But yeah, he uploads. He's been uploading videos talking about women because he's a pickup artist, right? Talk about women and.
No, he's a failure. Failure. Epic failure, man. Epic failure.
His way of approaching women, I'm not going to repeat the words he says, but it's just talking extremely crass. That's how he seduces women, apparently.
No, it's just cheese and crackers. That's how my little brother puts it. It's just cheese and crackers. It's little kid stuff, you know. The guy never been to a relationship, obviously, and, you know, it's just delusional thinking, you know, he's insane. Yeah,
it's crazy. He should just stick to the wrestling videos. By the way, I think thinks wrestling is real, but I don't know. That's another subject.
God. Oh, man. I used to have been a big fan of WWE back then, man.
When I was like 10 or 11 years old, when I was like on my early teens, I loved it. But it was the era of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and all that. And I knew it wasn't real, you know. But it was really entertaining. It was like live comic books. But that's like when you're a kid, it's okay. But this is a grown guy.
Yes. Well, you could still like it, but, you know, if you think it's real, well, you know, you're in another world. I mean, you know, pro wrestling died for me when I was a teenager, when Chris Benoit died. I don't know if you recognize that wrestler.
Who?
Chris Benoit.
No, it doesn't ring a bell. Like I said, I'm from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit, yeah, it does ring a bell, actually.
Yeah, he was the guy who supposedly murdered his own family and killed himself.
Wow, holy shit.
And this happened like 2 years after his best friend Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero, yeah, I remember him, yeah.
Man. That sucked, man.
Man, yeah, they have like messed up lives, a lot of these wrestlers. Anyway, we're digressing. Yeah, the thing about... well, poor Paulo. I was going to say something more about Paulito, but I forgot now.
No, that's pretty much it. You know, the guy's pretty much boring except when he does those videos of his demos.
Oh, yeah, this is what I wanted to mention. Like, I always wondered why he started with all this martial arts bullshit. By the way, I forgot to mention, like, whenever he tries to explain how to use weapons, because according to him, you need to know how to use weapons. His weapons are like toy swords and like rubber guns and shit like that.
Yeah, that was hilarious, man.
Nerf guns. But he thinks for real. He's not saying this is training stuff. He thinks those are real weapons, like plastic swords.
I mean, if he wants to put his stuff to the test, well, he'll never do it because he'll say, like, you know, competition fighting or sparring is not self-defense. It's all useless. I mean, if he tries to fight a kendo or kenjutsu or a hima guy, he's gonna get owned.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Anyway,
it's gonna be bad.
And every time he talks, I'm sorry if we keep talking about this guy, but there's a lot of funny shit. Like whenever he tells his legendary stories about epic sparring battles where he like broke some guy's arm and like kicked him in the balls and stabbed him in the eyes. He says, like, he tells you all this crazy ass story, and in the end he says, "Oh yeah, but I didn't really hurt him because there was no contact."
Oh my god, man! You know,
I kicked him in the balls. I broke his arm, but there was no contact. I didn't really hurt him.
I don't know. You know, the guy probably never got bullied in his life because he's one of those special kids growing up. You know, where he couldn't be touched because he was like, special ed.
Yeah, probably. He must have been homeschooled or something. Because he cannot interact with normal people. Like he's not a normal person. Yeah,
I don't know, man. If I don't know, it's like, you know, if there was a guy like him, you know, growing up, you know, when I was going to school, you know, I would have been this bully right away.
Yeah, they would have just all made, like in my school, they would have just made fun of him. They would have probably not messed with him too much because they would see he's crazy. But if he talked as much shit as he does now, it would have been unavoidable that he would get bullied. I mean, when you're looking for it, you know. But what I was going to say is, like, all the previous frauds that they're, like, making shit up to get recognition and or money, what motivates this guy to like come up with all this shit? I think it's just money in this case. I mean, like he's trying to sell. He tries to sell first a book and also his self-defense courses on the internet. And I told him honestly on comments before. I don't comment anymore because it's just pointless. But I used to tell him, look, if you want to make money, drop this whole like self-defense act because it's nonsense. Just like pretend you were kidnapped by aliens or something. Then you will get called into like conspiracy shows and conventions and stuff. You'll be famous and you'll get money. And you look like some guy who was kidnapped by aliens. So that's fine.
I suggested it one time, since he talks about pro wrestling so much, he knows a lot about it. Why doesn't he concentrate making podcasts about it and write articles, you know?
Yeah, Angela also told him that, and I agree.
He can make a little career out of that.
Yeah, it's something he likes. Instead of like all this bullshit making up strange shit about fighting, which he has no clue about. I think he can live a fantasy like that where he's some kind of like warrior or something. Stupid. Oh, yeah. No. Very childish anyway. Yeah,
the best medicine for that, all those delusions, is getting punched in the face.
Yeah, it's a little slap of reality, right? Yeah, but the last, he was gone for a few months, and a few days ago he started uploading videos again, just talking about why he likes Asian chicks and I don't know what other crazy shit.
It's all cringe fuel, and later somebody's gonna make an article about him in Encyclopedia Dramatica.
Yeah. It's actually, I have to admit it. Now, I used to just get annoyed and angry at this guy for all the bullshit he said, but now it's like a guilty pleasure. Just it's this kind of cringe that you enjoy watching sometimes whenever he uploads a video. But yeah, anyway, he's there uploading stuff. People can check it out.